Started. Let me just go over a couple of things before we get into it. For those of you who are planning on coming to my house tomorrow night, I'm still planning on it. My son is sick. He doesn't have a stomach bug, but he has like cough and a runny nose. So I'm just letting you know that's what's up. But I'd love for you all to still come if you want. How's that for a welcoming invite? But the only thing I don't have a lot of would be magazines and catalogs and stuff that we can cut apart. So if you have anything like that at home for doing our vision boards and you want to bring a few, I would be so grateful if you could do that. So that's tomorrow night at 6:30. I have dessert, I have cookies, I have olives, I have wine, I have drinks, I have strawberries and grapes. So if you want to bring something else, feel free. If not, just come and hang out and we can drink and talk. So if you're going to do a vision board, bring an 8x10 canvas. It could be the flat ones or the raised ones. And I talked to Beth about this. I'll have the Mod Podge and the paint brush things, and I think it'll be fun. I have a feeling I'm going to want to do mine on my phone or computer and then print it and then kind of cut it apart and Mod Podge it on. So if you want to bring your computer too, we could go that route. I'll get extra ink for printing if we want to do it here. So that's that. If you are not, I think everyone on this call is on a Team Cup team except maybe one person. So if you're not and you want to be on one, let me know. We can definitely collaborate with like Katie Arhan's team. I'm sure I could get you on the team. That was really nailed home this past weekend, the importance of it, of actually going for it. And I think like the winning team last time, all four of those girls hit diamond during the last one. Like their leader already was one, but they all hit diamond. So they really were nailing home the importance of that. So get on a team. And just so you know what to look forward to, in February, Hardcore is coming out. They didn't give the exact date, but it's intense. Like I have rug burns on my elbows from doing it with Tony Horton. It was awesome, and it was fast, and it was hard. And I mean, we were done in like no time, and it's really fun, like the way it's, like to a beat. And he like makes you yell. I'm sure you don't do that when you're doing it in your home, but it was great. 22 minutes. So it might be something you want to start thinking about how you could kind of market that, I guess. And then what else? I'm going to mute. Can you mute yourselves if you're not muted, just so we don't get background noise? If you haven't hit Success Club, just a reminder, like there's 21-day fix available. There's, what else do we have? Still the 3-day refresh challenge pack. So don't give up yet. You still have like a whole nother week, and there's still really great options out there. Even if you just said you were going to do a little 3-day refresh group, I'm sure you could push the challenge pack when it's really the most cost-effective way to get it. It's such a great deal too. Jackie, you always do really well selling those. It's like your expertise. I don't sell as many as you do of them. So that, or the 21-day fix, or 21-day fix extreme. And I think that's it for announcements. At the end, I guess we can catch up if there's something else that you guys could think of. Okay, so let me get started because I have a lot of information. So the people who were invited to the new leaders conferences were basically people who went, I think they had to be a 2-star or above, or you started as a diamond and made it to 1-star or 2-star above. I forget what the qualifications are this year. So it was really exciting to get the invitation, but I didn't realize how amazing it was going to be. I wasn't prepared for it. So the point of the New Leaders Conference, really, any of you could get there, just so you know. I want you to realize that. Even if you are a brand new coach, you can still make this happen over the next year. I want everyone on our team to get to go to this at some point because I think that from talking to Megan Eggleston, my coach, my upline, she shares, what it's like going to different conferences and stuff. And she didn't get to go to this one because she got to go to the leadership one the first year because she jumped so fast. So she missed out on this. And I don't know that there's one that's this special. Because it's so small. There were, I think, like 375 to 400 coaches there. There was like 83 elite coaches, which is crazy because that means that, they grew from basically a diamond to a 5-star at minimum over the last year. And then there was like 110 premier coaches, and a premier coach is basically a coach who didn't make it to 5-star, but had the elite points. And I think they have to be like 1 or 2-star or something along those lines. So that's a premier coach. That's what Katie Arhan is, a premier coach. So the whole point in this conference is to welcome all these new leaders and give them the push to hit elite this year. So if they haven't hit elite, the goal is to get them going so that they're elite this next year. So they really brought in the big dogs to train us and encourage us and love on us and educate us. So what I liked the best was that Carl opened, and I wanted to cry while he was talking. And I'm not a sappy person. I really am not. And his heart for people is unbelievable. So I'm going to jump in. What he said from the beginning was, we need to look at this coaching thing in a holistic approach. So we need to build teams of people who help people. So we see a lot of coaches out there who are just recruiting, and they haven't poured into people for a physical transformation, which leads to an emotional transformation, which leads to, a strengthening of a person, but they're just recruiting for the financial benefit. So you'll see a lot of people say, doing tons of posts about, I made this much and I got this percentage raise, which there is a place for that. I believe that there's a place for that. And if we're not talking about the business opportunity, people may not even realize that it is an opportunity. But he's saying, if you don't care about helping people, your organization is just going to crumble. So people who are doing it backwards and not getting people plugged into challenge groups, he's saying that their organizations are going to crumble. And I see that a lot with people who have a fast, growth where they're hitting, 5-star in no time, and they don't have these huge challenge groups, but they're just recruiting people all the time. I've talked to a couple personally who they're having a hard time sustaining their business because there isn't that physical and emotional change in a person. So he talked long and hard about that for about an hour. He also mentioned that being proud of what you're doing is good, and celebrating your successes is good, but it's also fleeting. Success is fleeting, and we need to understand that the work will always be there, that we can't spend too much time, celebrating, that we need to continue on. His big word for the weekend was being relentless. And he talked a lot about the products and how we as coaches don't do the best job of educating on the products. I know Beth is amazing at this. She educates her people on Shakeology. If we're not educating people and building value and helping them understand the value of Shakeology, they're not going to be hooked. They're not going to want to stick with it. It's our job as coaches in these challenge groups to help people understand, yes, you're paying $4 a serving, or $3 something if you become a coach, because of this, and this. And Beachbody doesn't put out crap products. He kept saying that we could have, he said, for the performance line, cut down the price of it, and we would have been giving crap. And we don't do that because we're Beachbody and we do the best of the best. And it's our job as coaches to educate ourselves and educate our people, be relentless about educating our people, and so that they find value in the products themselves. And we need to be relentless to not give up on people too. People that we think they're never going to have a transformation because they're stubborn. We need to be relentless at keeping at them, being there to encouraging them, educating them. And he ended his little spiel saying, the business is going to wear on you if you don't stay in your heart. So true. Like if you're not in touch with your why, and let me mute a couple audios. Your why and how you want to help people, but also your why, you know, for building a business too. I think all of us are going to have multiple whys, that it's going to become exhausting and it's going to wear on us and we're going to want to give up. So he said, stay in your heart. So the next dude that came in is John Congdon, and I don't know if y'all know him. I'll show you a picture of him. Here he is. He's kind of like a behind the scenes guy. He's the president and co-founder of Beachbody, but we don't hear from him that much. But he came in and talked about the tech updates, which I shared with you all. And basically he said this engine that they have going was growing too fast for them. They couldn't keep up. The amount of coaches is like doubled every year. The amount of customers has like tripled every year, and they couldn't keep up. So he's very forthcoming with saying, like, we screwed up on the technology. So he shared these 3 things. So I'm basically going to go through and give you my top things from each speaker. He shared that the back office overhaul is going to be done within the year. He was at the Tampa Super Saturday. Cool. Awesome. He's really kind of quiet. You don't really see him much. He was meandering around the hotel lobby and like nobody even noticed him. I think I was the only one who was like, I think that's John Congdon. Anyways, but he said the back office overhaul will be done within the year. We will be able to run our businesses from our phone. So I'm assuming we'll get an app for the back office, which is awesome because it's a pain to go in and sign in. There's going to be backup systems in place. So if the system goes down, it'll kick up in like a different state or whatever. They'll have that in place. And there's going to be a new mobile shop. So I'm guessing an app to shop so your people can log in and order another challenge pack, and a new shopping website. And it's already in test phases. He's like, it just takes a long time. Basically, when we went to headquarters, 90% of their office was technology people, and you could see them all meeting and working. And then he said that there's going to be they're branching out internationally. So does this mean, sorry, I need to open my chat window so I can see what you're saying. Does this mean there'll be less shopping sites like all in one place? Less shopping sites. I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, just how it seems like everything has like 5 different places you can go for the same thing. Do you know what I mean? Like there's beachbody.com and teambeachbody.com and beachbody.com. They all kind of like.
There will always be beachbody.com because that's where people go when they don't have a coach. So, and then they feed them. That's where we get our leads from. Shakeology.com. I don't know. I don't ever send people there. I kind of give them the link to order right through me. So they'd have to really be looking. I don't know what it'll look like. He just said it's going to be better. So then Jeff Hill came in, and he is this dude. Loved him. He talked a lot about the book. There's a book called Good to Great. It's one of his favorite books. So if you're looking for a new PD, that might be a good option. And he discussed how we need to do one thing well instead of chasing the next shiny thing. So we need to figure out what we're good at, and we need to stick with that. And that's what Craig Collier talked about on Megan's call that he did for Team Phoenix, how we need to stay in what we're good at and develop it well, instead of being like, ooh, look, she does this well, I'm going to do that. And she does this well, I'm going to do that. So we need to figure out what our strengths are and stay in that. We need to be the best in the world at our strengths. And he talked about there's a hedgehog and fox analogy, how the hedgehog, it's hard for him. He kind of doesn't really do anything, but if a fox comes after him, he uses his bristles and hunkers down and protects himself. He does that well. We need to be like the hedgehog and stay in that place. We need to be able to change a life, which starts in our challenge groups. We need to get those people loyal to our products by educating them. So it's, again, that repetition of saying this. And in the end result, we will have economic growth, our financial growth within our businesses, but that comes with time. And we need to be patient with that. If we're doing it the right way, we're going to be changing lives first. So he just kind of summarized, what, in my opinion, what Carl said. So Michael Neiman hopped on next. He's the goofball who does the really good, psycho bonus video though. He's the best at it, explaining it. He came up and he talked about having expectations and belief in our people. I think I have, I have a little slide thing. Is it this one? Yeah. Okay. So he said that we need to believe and have expectations that our people are going to succeed. And he compared that to there's a research project done where there were a classroom of students who were all equally capable and smart. Their IQs were the same, and how they did this experiment where they said, this is the bright group of kids, even though they all were the same. And this group is not so much, and how the bright kids thrived and did better than what the kids who were said to be, lower in, what they were capable of did. And we need to have that expectation and belief in the people on our teams, that they're going to be successful, that they can do it, because a lot of time people will rise to that. And if we're like, she's going to flop, that's probably going to happen as well. And so he went on to talk about the leadership ladder, and I'm going to let me show you the little slide, and I need to screen share with you. So he shared this, and I know it's kind of blurry, and I'm sorry, but I think you can get the gist of it, that we need to have expectations that our leaders and people on our team can go after the leadership ladder, can go after rank. But they talked about the importance of leadership ladder, like they nailed it home. And you can see here, it's crazy. So this is from the January 2014 people, that the percentage of team leaders who advance in rank is so much higher than the percentage of diamonds, and that we need to be looking at that leadership ladder because it's going to make you a more well-rounded person. So team leader is kind of in the middle for, I can send you all the leadership ladder after, but he's saying just going for diamond isn't going to do it, that we need to be well-rounded in what we're doing and leading our teams. So isn't that crazy? It's crazy to me looking at that, how much more likely the diamonds are to advance in rank. So let me get back out of there. And then my very favorite, let me get out of here. There we go. My very favorite speaker was Michelle Myers, and she came on. I've liked her forever, but she actually came, what's the difference? Sorry, let me see. What's the difference between diamond and team leader? I'll have to show you. A diamond is just a rank where you have basically 4 coaches on each leg, and 1 on each leg is an emerald. The leadership ladder encompasses more than just rank. You have to be a certain rank. You have to have a certain amount of coaches on your team hitting Success Club or earning Success Club points. You need to be making a certain amount of income. So it's more of an overall picture of how you're doing in the business, not just how many people you have on your team. And I can point you in the direction of the leadership ladder after, so you can kind of see. I think everyone here is either, a business starter, or I think I have a couple team leaders. I don't remember exactly. So Michelle Myers jumped in, and she talked a lot about leading with service and with a strong work ethic. So basically leading by example. She said we need to see others for what they don't see in themselves. And I think that was what attracted me to my coach so much, she saw something in me that I didn't see. She knew that I was capable and that I could do it. And she nailed down my gifts before I even could see them myself. I love this woman's heart. Michelle Myers she's a beautiful person. She sat with us for a while that first night, and she's just like such a sincere person. She is a 12-star diamond in her first business center, a 5-star in her second business center, and a 2-star in her third business center. So she's killing it, basically. She's building smart. And she was an elite coach this year. She's been coaching for 7 years. So that was her first point. Her second point was the difference between empowering and enabling your team, which a lot of times it's easy to just be like, let me do this for you, or this is the answer to a question, rather than saying, here's where you can find the answer to this question. Here's how you can figure out how to do this. So I'm going to screen share again, used this little ladder, and it's in a lot of different PD books. And she said right here that we basically need to be blameless. And the way to do that is to have the system in place. So as you're learning to coach, as a coach and as you build your team, you need to be an example to them. So we start by, let's say we're inviting to the business, or let's say we're inviting to a challenge group. You would first listen to you would maybe see a typed conversation of me as a leader inviting somebody, and you as my downline watching what I do, and then we talk about it after. The next one would be, let's say we have a mutual friend that you want to invite to be a coach. We do it together. So you might take part of it and I'll take part of it, the invite. We could do that on, let's say, like a Zoom call or even a 3-way chat. And then we talk about it after. The next step, and this goes for anything, inviting to a challenge group, inviting to the business, doing a getting started right call with a new coach. This applies even, when you think about working with our children, it's a really great system. The next would be you as my downline doing it, and then I watch you do it, and then we talk about, what your strengths are, what you could have improved upon. And the last step would be you doing it on your own and one of your own coaches watching you. So you then become the example there. Does that all make sense? I love that ladder. I think it's great. Even as a mom, I think about, it's so much easier for me to just do it for my child, right? Like when they're like, can you just, I don't want to put the dishes away. Like, I want you, can you just do it, Mom? And it's so much easier for me to be like, I got it. It'll take me 2 minutes. Then they're never learning to do anything on their own. And so I like this system, even, working with coaches, it's all the same, right? We need to empower each other to be able to do things independently. And it really gives you more confidence when you can figure out these things on your own, I feel like. So she talked a lot about that. And then what the biggest difference was between top performers and average performers. She said it's having a sense of purpose. So it's not what we sell, but rather what we stand for, what our passions are. And if you look at Michelle Myers' Facebook page, you can go stalk her a little. She does not, you don't see any sales posts. It's unbelievable, really. She does post workout selfies, but they're really unique, and she's a believer. So she puts a lot of scripture with her on her post. But really, it's so rare that you'll see an invite to her challenge group, but it's done creatively and not out there, buy a 3-day refresh challenge pack. So check her out. And obviously she has time on her side. She's been in this for 7 years. So people know what she does, but she was consistent. She shared her passion. She shared her love for people constantly. So then Melanie Mitro came out, and wow, that woman is a machine. Like, she's a machine. She has her systems down to a pat. It was unbelievable what she shared. So her talk, for all you who are new, I can show you a picture of her. She is the top coach in the industry for the past 2 years. She just hit 15 star in her 3rd business center. So she has 3 business centers at 15 star. And it's because she's a machine and she is disciplined. And it's just so obvious when she's talking that she is. So her first one was developing a recruiting culture. And she started by saying that everything needs to be tailored to your avatar, which was like, oh, avatar, weird. But she created an avatar of her ideal person, down to like things like, what did she say? Even things like, I'm a size 12, but ideally would be a size 6. Like if I was at my healthiest. She listed things like, I'm a mom of 2, things detailed of what her ideal person looks like. She even had a picture up of what the person looked like. I'm like, where'd you get that picture? So she created an avatar, and every single thing she posts, before she posts it, she says in her head, is this going to reach my avatar? Basically, is this going to reach my ideal person, my niche market? So the way she looks at that, she asks, what's her target audience? So that would be, I posted this in the Diamond group yesterday. So sorry, girls who are diamonds, you saw this before, but what's their target audience? For me, I'm going to tell you what mine is. It's a mom, a teacher, or a nurse who has 2 to 4 kids, who may be home, or a former teacher, former nurse. Where is my list? Oh, she likes to shop. She likes to decorate. She volunteers at church. So like, you see how I'm like detailed things, putting it out there. So you're going for that exact person. And then the next question is part of the avatar. How do we approach them? Where do we approach them? And for me, it would be at church, at school volunteering, at dance class, at baseball, someone who is online in Facebook groups, because she's home, or, has some time to kill in the evening because her husband's working. So I started writing all these details out for my person while I was sitting there, while I was listening to her. I was like writing like crazy. And then what are her biggest burdens? So is it there's no fluff in the budget? She needs a fitness solution because she doesn't have time to get to the gym. Is it a confidence issue? She has low self-esteem because she feels out of shape. So really nailing down exactly what this person looks like is key for her. And then she goes into, this is really cool because I was like, I never even thought of this. She has a marketing campaign each month. So she has a theme that she sticks with for a whole month. So I think if you follow her at all, you'll see this month it's make your body your biz. Oh no, only 10 minutes. Okay. Make your body your biz. And she's going to use that in her challenge groups. She's going to use that as she's recruiting this month. It's all tied into this big picture. So obviously I was like all into this right away, and I did a love yourself well. That's what I'm doing for this month. But every month, everything is wrapped in. So her 5-day, her free group, her paid challenge, her recruiting is all going to be based on this theme, where she has all different images that kind of look the same, but they're different. And they're sprinkled throughout YouTube, because she does videos this girl's a machine. Take one thing away from this talk and I'll be happy. You're not going to be able to do this all at once. Throughout, she makes images. She does, her webinar is tied to that theme. So her PowerPoint will go with that. She does a What is Coaching webinar. In her groups, it's all tied to the theme. Her sneak peek, she talks about it daily. So you can't just stick one post up and hope that somebody sees it. It has to be done every day. every single day. So like that's just different from what I've been taught and what I've taught you guys. Like she puts up her 21-day post every day for a week. She puts up her her recruiting posts every day before the webinar for like a week. So just something to think about. She's excellent. She's superb. Obviously, this was a little bit more advanced than what we would hear from her at Summit because this was for leaders. So take what you can from this. Don't be overwhelmed by it. So she talked again about her schedule. So I might get back. Let me see if I had that written down. No, she's basically she's very disciplined. She gets up at 5 a.m. every morning. She runs down, does her workout, gets her workout done, tiptoes upstairs, has all of her alerts off on Facebook, all of her notifications off, and does her power hour before her sons wake up in the morning. So her power hour is done. She does not work in the afternoon, she says. She works some evenings for calls. Her schedule is ridiculously like blocked out perfectly. But her systems are she's a well-oiled machine, basically. So I did put together a calendar for our team after listening to her talk. So you'll get that calendar for next month ahead of time. And it's basically the same as what it has been. And actually, from what she said, it sounds like our team is on track for how our month is laid out. Just so you know, there was a whole talk on the policies and procedures. Very boring, but also interesting. Basically, this guy, Jonathan Gelfand, he talked all about, it was hilarious. He's like, I'm going to teach you to learn the policies and procedures. And we're like, no, you're not. But just about making product claims that aren't true, before and afters that are not accurate, talking about your income and making sure you have that disclaimer on there when you talk about your income, because they're really policing right now to make sure that we're in line, because, there's like government regulations on this stuff. So Beachbody's being very careful. So if you have a question, they said they will never get mad at you for emailing compliance. They will get mad at you for breaking the rules and not checking ahead of time. So if you have a question about something, you can ask me, and if I don't know it, you can email compliance. We actually got to meet Jemima, who's the head of compliance. She was very friendly. So just a little side note. Bonnie Engel was next, and she came if we get kicked out and you guys want to hop back on, you can just click that link again and it'll reboot. I don't want to rush. So if you can't get back on, that's fine. So Bonnie Engel came to the New Leaders Conference last year as a 2-star diamond. And this year, she's a superstar, 15-star diamond. What is she? She's in the top 10. So that just goes to show you that a lot can change in a year. She did that great call with Rena Odell that I put in the Diamond group. I can also share with everyone else about recruiting. And so she basically talked about like her process of how she became a superstar top 10 coach in the course of a year, basically, because she was just a brand new 2-star too when she went to New Leaders Conference. So it's not like she had been sitting there for a while. So she started by saying that it's all about Success Club and creating a Success Club culture on your team, which we do. I think we talk about it a lot. But she walked away from the New Leaders Conference last year feeling completely overwhelmed. When you're just like, I've been feeling the past couple of days, like so stimulated that you're like, how am I going to apply all this that I learned? She said for about a month, she sat on it, didn't know what to do with all the information she learned, until one day she's like, I just need to get my people hitting Success Club. And I need to recruit more people who hit Success Club, who teach their coaches to hit Success Club. And it's not just because we're selling junk to people, it's because it works and the products are good. And we need to, again, educate our people on what it is that they're using and why they're using it. And then they're going to want to share the same thing. So she does these challenge groups continually. She's still doing them. She doesn't have an assistant. She does it all on her own, but she doesn't have children. So there's you don't need an assistant when you don't have little ones at home. But she basically onboarded her coaches and taught them that they're going to hit Success Club the first 3 months, and by then it becomes a habit. And then they're going to teach their coaches to do the same. But a big part of that is having, you still need to be recruiting coaches. So she sprinkles 3 to 5 business posts a day on both her like page and her personal page. And you can check her out, look up her stuff. She makes her social media like a public sneak peek group. So what she did is she writes out all of the questions she had as a coach before she signed for her avatar, and thinks about her avatar, what questions they would have, and writes them all down. And she addresses like a couple questions a day on her personal page, on her like page. She's primarily working off her like page now, she said. She shares the highlight reels of her coaching career every day. So 3 to 5 posts a day. That's a lot. It's a lot. It's probably more than I'm doing for sure. But I like that it's not all about, one, sneak peek group where people might feel awkward about going in a group. So she addresses those questions right on her page. She ended with saying, you can rule the day, don't let the day rule you. And I like that a lot. That's just about being disciplined. Melanie talked a lot about that too. If you're going to be in this for the long haul, you're going to need to be disciplined, staying the course. There was a panel of those 3 coaches. They went up front, and the couple things that stood out to me, someone asked about spouses and involving them in your business. And I think 2 of them said that their spouses were not on board at all when they first started. So that's kind of cool to hear, because mine wasn't a big fan at first. We're going to get kicked off. So I'm going to log out. If you want to click that link again and log back in. Is that cool? Sorry. I'll only be another 5 minutes.